go. Okay, is it showing up? Yes? All right. Thank you for checking.
Yes, sir.
I'll see you after we're done.
See you.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And welcome to those who are coming in online. We'll begin our service on the bottom of page 5 with Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem Malachei Asharet Malachei Elyon Mi Melech Malchei Amalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Boachem L'Shalom Malachei Ashalom Malachei Elyon Mi Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Barchuni L'Shalom Malachei Ashalom Malachei Elyon Mi Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Seidechem L'Shalom Malachei Ashalom Malachei Elyon Mi Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We will move to page 11 and 12. Psalm 95, the formal beginning of Kabbalat Shabbat. Lekun eranen al Adonai, nari al tzur yish'enu, nikar mavana b'torah, bizmirot nari alo, nikar mavana b'torah, Bizmirot nari alo, Ki el gadol Adonai, Umelech gadol al kol Elohim, Asher beyado mechkarei aretz, V'to'afot harim lo, Asher beyado mechkarei aretz, V'to'afot harim lo. Great is Adonai, a greater sovereign than all other deities. God's hand formed the earth steep. Mountain crests too are God's work. The sea is God's, for God made it. Dry land was fashioned by God's hands. Welcome. We are on page 11. Come then, let us bow and kneel and bend our knees in the presence of Adonai, who formed us. For Adonai is our God, and we are God's flock, like sheep in God's caring hands. Page 12. Arba'im shana kut bedor ba'omar amtu ele b'feim v'heim lo yada'u derachai asher nishbari v'api im yavoun el menuchati. Pages 13 and 14 are Psalm 96. Shiru l'Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru l'Adonai, Kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai, Baruchu Shemo, Basaru, Miyom le'yom Yeshuato, Saperu b'goyim kevodo, B'chol amim niflotav, Ki gadol Adonai, Umhulal me'od, Norahu al kol Elohim, Ki kol Elohim elim b'Adonai shamayim asa, Hod v'harar lefanav, Oz v'tiferet b'mikdasho, Havul Adonai mishpachot amim, Havul Adonai kavod va'oz, Havul Adonai kavod shemo, Sehu mincha uvo ulachasrota. Page 14. Hishtachavul Adonai b'hadrat kodesh, Kirilu mipanav kol haaretz, Imru bagoim Adonai malach avtikon devel baltimot Yarinamim b'me'esharim Yismechu hashamayim b'tagel haaretz Yiramayam umelo Ya'aloz sarai V'kol asher bo Aziranu kol atzei ya'ar Livnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz Yishpot tevel b'tzedek Ve'amim be'emunato. On pages 15 and 16, we will do Psalm 97, and this time we'll go back and forth between Hebrew and English. Adonai malach tagel haaretz yismechu im rabim anan barafel sevivav tzedek umishpat mechon kis'o. Clouds and thick darkness surround the divine. Righteousness and justice secure God's throne. Fire goes before God, consuming besiegers round about. Let's go together there. Flashes of lightning illumine the land. The earth watches and trembles. Mountains melt like wax at the approach of Adonai, at the approach of the Master of all the earth. The heavens tell of God's righteousness, and all the nations see God's glory. Worshippers of idols shall be shamed for praising false gods. All that is deemed supreme should bow before God. Your turn. Zion hears of it and rejoices. The cities of Judah exult as you, Adonai, pass judgment. You, Adonai, are above all that is earthly, exalted over all that is worshipped as divine. O have Adonai sin udrash omer nafshot chasidav miyad rishaim yatzilem or zaru ala tzadik u'ishrei lev simcha simchu tzadikim baronai Behodu lezecher kodsho. Page 17 and 18 are Psalm 98, which is a little bit shorter. Midmor shiru l'Adonai shir kadash ki niflo rasa hoshi alo yemino uzro akodsho. Sing to Adonai a new song, for Adonai has wrought wonders. God's right hand and holy arm have brought deliverance. Together, Adonai declared deliverance. As nations looked on, God's righteousness was revealed. God dealt faithfully and kindly with the house of Israel. The very ends of the earth saw our God's saving power. Page 18. Call out to Adonai, all the earth. Break out in joyful singing. Sing to Adonai to the music of the lyre. Lyre and voices making music together with horns and shofar cries. Trumpet the presence of the sovereign Adonai. Yir amhayam umalote belbe yosheveva narodim chauchav yachararim yiranenu livnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz yishpot tebel betzedek ve'amim b'meisharim. And on 19 and 20 we have the last of this series of 5 nature psalms. Adonai malach yirgazumim yoshev gerubim danud haaretz Adonai b'tzion gadol v'ramhu al kol ha'amim. This one's fairly short, so let's take this from the top responsibly in the English. Adonai reigns, nations tremble. The one enthroned amidst the cherubim makes the world quake. Your turn. Adonai is great in Zion, above all nations. They shall acknowledge your name, saying, Great, awe-inspiring, Holy One. A sovereign strength lies in the love of justice, and you forged the paths of truth. judging Jacob righteously and justly. Exalt Adonai our God. Bow down before God, the Holy One. Moses and Aaron among God's priests, and Samuel among those who called upon your divine name, called to you, and you answered them. Exalt Adonai our God, and bow down at God's holy mountain, for Adonai our God is holy. Adonai Eloheinu ata nidam el nosei ayita lahem b'nokeim ala lilotam. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu b'shakabu le'argocho ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. For the wonderful Psalm 29, which is also a nature psalm, we'll do a Sephardic melody in honor of the Sephardic heritage of the Jews from Rhodes who established the congregation Eitz Chaim that became part of the synagogue in which we all are right now. Mizmor leDavid, Havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim, Havu l'Adonai kavod vaos, Havu l'Adonai kavod shemo, Shachavu l'Adonai b'hadrat kodesh, Kol Adonai al hamayim, El hakavod hirim, Adonai al mayim rabim. Kol Adonai ba'koach, Kol Adonai be'arar, Kol Adonai shover arazim, Vaishaber Adonai et arzei halebanon, Vayarkidem kemo egel, Levanon besirion kemo ven reimim. Kol Adonai chosev lahavoresh, Kol Adonai yachil midbar, Yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, Kol Adonai yicholel layalot, Vayechasov ye'arot, Uvheichalo kulo omer kavod, Kulo omer kavod. Adonai lama bul yashav, Vayeshev Adonai melech leolam, Adonai oz le'amo yiton, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. We'll skip page 22, and we'll go on to Lechadodi, which is 23, 24, and 25. And tonight, for some variety, let's use the melody that is used in the Camp Ramah system, at least the melody that was used in the Camp Ramah system back in the days when I was on staff at various camps Ramah. But hold on to your kippah, because it's going to move fast. 23. Lechadodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lechadodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor b'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmi anu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, L'shem ultiber v'lita hila. Lechadodi, Lechadodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lechadodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelecha, Ki hi mekor haberacha, Mehirosh mikerem nisucha, Sov ma'aseh b'machshava techila. Lecharori, lecharori likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecharori likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Mikdash melech ir melucha, Kum mitzahim mitocha hafecha, Rav lach shevet be'emek abacha, Hu yakmol aleich chemla. Lecharori, lecharori likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecharori likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. 24. Hidna ari me'afar kumi, Tivshi bigdei tifartechami, Al yad ben Yishai beit halachmi, Koreva el nafshi ge'ala. Lecharori, lecharori likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecharori likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Heat orari, kiva orech, kumi ori, uri, shir daveri, kevod Adonai alaich nigla. Lecharodi likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecharodi likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Second melody. Lo, tevo shiva, lo, ti kalmi ma, Tishochachi, umatehemi bach. Bakachasu aniye ami, V'niv netair, Altila, lecharodi, likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. 25. Third melody. V'hayu l'shimsa shosayich b'racha kukol mival'ayich yasis alayich Elohayich kimsos chatan al kala lecharodi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Yaminu smol tifrotzi v'et Adonai ta'aritzi al yadish ben parsi v'nismecha v'nagila lecharodi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nekabela. We rise and face the door. Boi v'shalom at Hered Bala, Gam b'simcha u'v'tzola, Toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, we bow. Boi chala, lecharodi likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecharodi likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. 27, Psalm 92, the ancient psalm for Shabbat, done in the days of the temple. Please be seated. Here's the intro. Mizmor shir, Mizmor shir leyom haShabbat. Mizmor shir leyom haShabbat. And this one is set up very nicely for responsive reading with the italics on 27 and 28. I'll begin. It is good to thank you, Adonai, and sing to your name, Most High, to proclaim your love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night. You gladdened me with your deeds, Adonai, and I shall sing of your handiwork. The arrogant do not understand, the fool does not comprehend this. The wicked flourish like grass, and every evildoer blossoms, only to be destroyed forever. Surely your enemies, Adonai, surely your enemies will perish. All who commit evil will be scattered. As my enemies gather against me, my gaze remains steady, for my ears listen and hear.
The righteous flourish like the date palm, thrive like a cedar in Lebanon, planted in the house of Adonai. They flourish in God's courtyards.
In old age they remain fruitful, still fresh and bountiful, proclaiming, Adonai is upright, my rock, in whom there is no flaw. And let's chant that, repeating from where the little arrow is. There's transliteration right below on the left side. Tzadik kadamar yifrach, ke'erez balvanon yizke, shedulim beveit Adonai, b'chatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu. Od yenuvun b'seba, tishenim v'ra'ananim yiyu. V'hagid ki yashar Adonai, tzuri, tzuri, velo ablatabo. 29, Psalm 93, which is the ancient psalm of the Levites for the day Friday, Erev Shabbat. Adonai malach yud lavesh lavesh Adonai ositazar avtikon tevel baldimot nachon gizcha meaz meolam ata. Let's share that response in italics. The rivers rise up, Adonai. The rivers raise up their roar. The rivers raise up their waves. Above the roar of the vast sea and the majestic breakers of the ocean, Adonai stands supreme in the heavens. Mikol hodmaim rabim adirim mishbereyam adir bamarom Adonai erotecha ne'emnu mod levetecha navak hodesh Adonai le'orech yamim. So I have listed that this has been a place where the sermon was done to separate the Kabbalat Shabbat, preliminary section, from the Arvit Shabbat, the main body of the evening service. So what I've been doing on the Friday nights where I have been joining you all is giving you an overview of the Torah portion, and then tomorrow I will chant a little bit of the Torah, a little bit of the Haftarah, and I prepared a very special sermon, really digging into it. So I hope you can both come back tomorrow. So here is the overview, though, of the entire very fascinating Parsha. In chapter 10, we have the 8th plague of locusts at the beginning, and near the end, the 9th plague of darkness. And in tomorrow's sermon, I will give you a very interesting interpretation of locusts and darkness among the plagues. But in chapter 11, comes the announcement of the death of the firstborn for the 10th plague. And God's prediction to Moses and Aaron that Pharaoh will have to finally relent and let the Israelites go. And chapter 11 ends with a brief summary of all the prior refusals on Pharaoh's part. And one of the controversies to this day is how much did God stiffen Pharaoh's heart, and how much was Pharaoh's heart pretty much on the line to be stiffened anyway, and God just kind of let him do it. However, chapter 12 and 13 are totally amazing. And I'll talk about this in more detail tomorrow morning also. The calendar is established at the beginning of chapter 12 by identifying the month of Nisan, in which all of this Exodus is going to be taking place, as the first month of what is to become the calendar of the Israelite people. The highlight of the month of Nisan is a commemoration feast that is based on what's going to happen to actually have that 10th plague work and get the Israelites out of Egypt. Just a preview, the plague itself is the death of the firstborn, but what's going to save the Israelites from the angel of death is dashing blood on their doorposts. And in any case, very clear instructions are given by God to kill a lamb, and if you can't find a lamb that'll feed just one family, you can kill a sheep and have two families share it, and that provides the blood that's going to mark the houses. But it's also going to mark the fact that this is a feast of commemoration in the future. We call that the Passover Seder. And chapter 12 ends with a few people who actually can't participate in that paschal sacrifice because of impurity or whatever. But finally, chapter 13 wraps up tomorrow's Torah portion by a consecration of the firstborn to God, which we see all over the book of Leviticus. This is why my eldest, who went ahead and became a principal of a Jewish synagogue anyway, got a master's in Jewish education, but the fact that he didn't really get properly redeemed, sometimes I tease him that might have something to do with his career choice. And more laws about the matzot, the bread which is not allowed to rise, the introduction to the concept of tefillin on our arm and on our between our eyes up here on our forehead, and of course the redemption of the firstborn in addition to consecration of them. So more details tomorrow. Please come back. And let us now move into the Arvich service, which begins on 39A. So let me get that out of the way. All right. Let's see what waits for us there. So I have a note that at one time we were not rising for Baruch Hu if there wasn't a minyan. What have you been doing the last many weeks with Rabbi? You've been doing? Okay, so let's, these documents I'm working from are old enough that I'm not surprised that there are some changes in what's included. Okay, so let's rise, and that is on the top of 39A. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidbaro ma'ariv arvim b'chochma poteach she'arim u'bitbuna mishaneh itim u'machalif et hazmanim u'msader ka'kochavim b'mishmaroteihem b'rakia kirtzono. So let's read on the left-hand side what we just got through chanting in that Hebrew. It also starts Baruch atah Adonai together. Our God, sovereign of time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will sets the succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their places in the sky. God who creates day and night, rolling light before darkness and darkness before night, who makes day pass into night and distinguishes day from night. Adonai Tsebaot is your name. Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai Tsebaot shemo. El chai b'kayam, tamidim lo chaleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamahari v'aravim. On page 40, we have the prayer talking about God's love for us, God's great love for us. Avat Olam Beit Yisrael Amachavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadetam Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shokveinu v'kumeinu nasiach v'chukecha v'nismak b'divrei Toratecha u'mizvotecha le'olam va'ed ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu ve'orech yameinu u'bahem nehege yomam v'layla yomam v'layla be'avadecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. Page 41. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. And let's use Torah trope to chant this passage from Deuteronomy. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'kol levavcha b'kol nafshecha u'b'kol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha yom al levavecha v'shinan dam levanecha v'dibartabam v'shivtecha b'beitecha u'b'lechtecha b'derech u'b'shochbecha u'kumecha u'ksartam lot al yadecha v'hayu letotafod bein einecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visha'arecha. Let's read on page 42 the middle paragraph to ourselves. And then the bottom, I see that there is a custom to use trope for that. Kimei Hashamayim al haaretz. Okay, the bottom of 42. It looks like this one is not transliterated, but I'll try to do it nice and slowly. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber el bnei Yisrael be'amarta alehem, ve'asu lahem tzitzit, al kanfei bigdehem ledorotam, ve'natanu al tzitzit hakana petil techelet, ve'haya lachem letzitzit, uritem oto, uzkartem et kol mitzvot Adonai va'asitem otam, ve'lo taturu acharei levavchem v'acharei einechem, asher atem zonim achareihem, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אמת אמונה כל זאת וקיים עלינו כי הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואין זולתו, ואנחנו ישראל עמו. So, I'm looking at 43a, and I'm seeing that it is not broken up in real, easily responsive form. So, let's use the 43b version of this, because that is kind of set up nicely for responsive. This, of course, is the prayer which includes Mi Chamocha, which we will find out next week is part of the Torah portion. It was chanted by the Israelites after they successfully got out of Egypt. So this is short lines. You proclaimed the covenant on the seventh day.
You declared it and decreed it. We listened and we heard it.
You loved this day we inherited, delighting in its remembrance.
And began its command with remembrance of old.
From the time you bestowed it, joy filled the hearts of Yeshurun, the people you redeemed.
Securing the cause of righteousness.
You exalted Shabbat as a sign between us forever. In 6 days your world was formed. On the seventh day you rested.
And on this day Israel, your people, rest.
To honor your name, we sing songs of praise to Adonai, who is deserving of praise. And we will sing that Mi Chamocha song on 44, but let me introduce at the little arrow. Umalchuto beratzon kibelu alehem, Moshe u'Miriam u'bnei Yisrael lechanu shira b'simcha rabba, v'yamru kulam, Mi chamocha be'elim Adonai, Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, noradi lot Hosef elem. Malchut tekara uvanecha bokeh ayam livnei Moshe ze Elianu v'yameru. Together, Adonai imlok leolam vaed. V'nemar gibed Adonai et Yaakov ugadlo miat chazak mimenu. Baruch Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. 45 is an extra prayer after the Shema, asking God to watch over us at night, which is why we only do this prayer in the evening. Allow us, Adonai, our God, to sleep peacefully. Awaken us to life, O Sovereign. Spread over us your canopy of peace. Restore us with your good counsel, and save us for the sake of your name. Shield us. Remove from us enemies, pestilence, swords, starvation, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces which surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings. For you, God, watch over and deliver us, and you, God, are sovereign, merciful, and compassionate. Ensure our going and coming for life and peace, now and forever. Ushmor seitenu enu l'chaim u'shalom me'ata v'ad olam ufros aleinu sukat shalomecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Aboreis sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. On 46, I'd like to share with you a very quiet and peaceful melody for V'Shameru, written by one of our famous songwriters. V'Shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asod et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam beini uvein b'nei Yisrael ot hi leolam ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz uvayom hashavi Shabbat vayinafash uvayom hashavi Shabbat vayinafash. This is a good lead-in to our Silent Amidah, which begins on page 47 and concludes the seventh prayer. Shalom Rav is on 51, but then there's an extra meditation on 52. So for this we rise, and let us say this quietly to the good Lord. So, to give you a moment to rest before we rise for Aleinu, without a minion, we won't do pages 53 and the top of 54, and of course, certainly not the Kaddish and the bottom of 54. But if you look at the bottom of 52, there is at the end of the, actually, it's also in the middle of 52. This Siddur gives us a couple choices of a little meditation after the Amidah, and they both end with Oseh Shalom. So here is a kind of cheerful melody for Oseh Shalom that's a little different from the Israeli one written by Nurit Hirsch that is used so often. Oseh Shalom, Shalom bimromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Oseh Shalom, Shalom bimromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom, Shalom bimromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom. So besides not doing 53 and 54, we will be doing our Kiddush out in the hall after the service. So let's rise again, page 56, for the Aleinu. And I believe the custom here is to open the ark for Aleinu. And I believe, yes, this camera will still see the ark and me. All right, 56. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tei gdula l'yotzer b'reishit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol hamonam, v'anachnu kodrim, mishachavim humorim, Livnei Melech Malkei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shehu Nodei Shamayim B'Yosei Haaretz, U'Moshavi Karov HaShamayim Mimal, Shekhinah Uzo B'Govei Meromim, Hu Eloheinu Heinod, Emet Malkeinu Efes Zulato, Kakatu b'toratam, v'yadatayom b'sevota, el levavecha, ki Adonai hu Elohim b'shamayim mima'al, v'al haaretz mitachat ein od. We continue to ourselves in the top of 57 and join at the bottom. Kol b'nei Yisrael, Ki ha'malchut shelecha hi u'ol me'adim lo b'kavod, kakatu b'toratecha, Adonai yimlok le'olam va'ed, v'nemar v'haya Adonai, L'melech al kol haaretz, Bayom hahu yehiyeh Adonai echad, Ushmo echad. the Mourner's Kaddish, we can turn to 337 and find Psalm 23 there. So, the folks for whom we remember their yard sites this week are Nettie Finkelstein-Bayless, Annie Byrne, Dr. Alan Hess, Eli Hanan, Clara Marcoux, Mitzi Meyer, Albert Kapp, Joseph Narlinis, Mamie Center Cohen, Rachel Hannon, Sarah Varone, Ruth Wecker, Goldie Feldman, Dora Kramer, Phyllis Kassover. And if anyone would like to simply say other names that may be yard site time, that counts as far as I'm concerned. So let's use the English on 337 for Psalm 23. Together, Adonai is my shepherd, I shall not want. God lays me down in green pastures, leads me to still waters, renews my life, guides me in right paths, for that is God's way. Though I walk through a valley as dark as death, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You spread a table before me in full view of my foes. You anoint my head with oil. My cup is overflowing. Only goodness and steadfast love shall pursue me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of Adonai forever. So, let me look and see what we have in the way of events coming up this coming week. Well, certainly a big one on Sunday, the Federation event out at the Shakespeare Festival. The daughter of a survivor and of the Holocaust and the son of a liberator in the same camp are going to both be speaking about their dad's experiences in the war, and I have heard that it is going to be an amazing, amazing presentation. I'll be back in the morning to lead services. There is religious school on Sunday. Rabbi will be back in time for Minyan and Intro to Judaism class on Monday, morning and evening respectively. There's something called a L'chaim League on the end of Wednesday morning over at Bethor. Thursday's Minyan again, and next Shabbat will be Shabbat all over again. So, that is our calendar, and let's turn to page 62. We've had mostly gentle melodies for this Friday evening service, but let me wrap things up with a Turkish version of Yigdal. Hold on to your yarmulkes for this one too. And there is transliteration. You're welcome to try to pick it up. It is pretty repetitive. Yigdal Elohim chai v'yishtabach nimtza v'yein eid el metziuto echad v'yein yachid keyichudo nelam v'gam ein sof le'achtuto ein lo demut haguf v'eino guf lo na'aroch elav kedushato Kadmon l'kol davar asher nivra Rishon v'yein reshit le'reshito Hino adon olam v'chol notzar Yodre gedulato malchuto. Shefa nebuato nedano. Elan se segulato vetivarto. Lo kam b'Yisrael k'Moshe o Navi. Umabit et emunato. Torat emet natan lamoel. Al yad nevio ne'eman beito. Lo ya khalifa el velo yamir dato. Le'olamim lezulato. Sofe ve'ore yaserarenu. Babit lesoftavar bekarmaro. Gomel elish chesed gemi valo. Notain la rasha ra kerish ato. Islach laketziamin shichenu. Liftot mechakeket Yeshu ato. Meitim Yechayael berov chasto. Baruch Areah Shem Tehilaro. Meitim Yechayael berov chasto. Baruch Areah Shem Tehilato. Shabbat Shalom, all y'all, as we say in South Alabama. Shabbat Shalom to everyone online. I hope you enjoyed the service. And we will be back at 9:30 in the morning for the Shabbat morning service. Shabbat Shalom.